And I think for us, when I remember showing this prototype, it was actually this one with a shield on it, and then we ended up with this is the final one here that we iterated on. I remember showing the first design to the clinician, saying, "Okay, we'll get something ready by the end of the weekend," and it says, "No, you need it done now."
Hmm.
And it was really those kinds of urgencies that we were getting from the clinicians that were, I think, very impactful for not only for myself but for the students that were in the room listening to the need. I think one of the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta doctors actually said, she said point blank to us, said every minute that you spend designing, people are going to be dying. So you have to iterate quickly, and you have to get to that endpoint because to turn this over to not only our manufacturing resources here at the institute, but also manufacturing resources that Sam has been able to muster with companies like Siemens, Dart, Coca-Cola, and other folks that are getting engaged in the fight for this particular effort.
Wow. So you're like 4 or 5 days into the whole thing. You got the final design, and you have doctors and hospitals saying we need thousands. So you're ready, right? I think you're ready. So how do you start to meet that demand, Sam?
So one of the big things of meeting the demand again is finding help. So where you need help, that's where you go and look. And so we're fortunate to have other groups on campus like the Georgia Tech Research Institute, some of the other maker spaces, volunteer to provide additional machinery so that way we can cut materials and start making the headbands and the face shields. But in addition to that, to go to even larger scale, I was able to turn to our friends at Siemens. And when you turn to a large company like that, they're used to producing things on scale. And what I mean by that, it's not the 100 that we produce in the first day. They can produce thousands in a day. And so they're used to doing this. And so you turn to those experts and say, help me scale. And luckily, we had people like Barry Powell from Siemens that came alongside of us and said, I'll help you find the vendors. They also invested, they took some of their money to help find additional resources here in Atlanta and actually pay some other vendors to cut materials for us. And so we're able to go from producing, say 100 in a day to producing a few thousand. And so this is something that, again, finding the right partnerships and building on those is something that was able to help us to go from the small amount that we could do to something that was much larger that could meet the need of the doctors.